Well, good evening, race fans. Here we are tonight, Intensity Broadcasting, bringing you the action for the SCSRA Tammy Butchino Memorial Cup Series here tonight in Kansas. Long for your call here, it's none other than Jacob, and it's been a pretty exciting start to this season so far, as we've seen some great races throughout the calendar, from Daytona, Michigan to Rockingham, and now here we are tonight in Kansas. Pardon me. And it looks like 16 cars getting ready to take the field here tonight as we're just rolling through practice at the moment. Make that 17 as we had just another pop in there. But so far, fastest in practice, Ryan Gomes in that number 55 machine right there. And so, yeah, we are just about 5 minutes left here in the practice session. A little bit short start here for me. I get home and get things settled in, and here we are getting started with very little time to actually get the normal routine in here. But I'm going to go ahead and within the 5 minutes of practice here, go ahead and honor our sponsors here with Intensity Broadcasting. Of course, first and foremost, one of the primary sponsors of the series, Dev Sports Cards. And buy their, check out their sales on sports cards right now over on eBay. You can see all kinds of different sport cards, from NASCAR to baseball, football to soccer, whatever you want. I'm sure you can find it there. They are proud sponsors of the SCSRA Cup Series, and we love them. We love the series. Keep an eye out for any of those cards that you might be looking for. You might find them over there on the eBay shop, hosted by your own Devin Butchino here in the field tonight. So, also, in racing, everyone prepares for the competitors they can see, but one of the toughest opponents a driver can face never shows up on the timing screen. The hidden opponent is tackling the mental health battle inside the helmet, educating athletes, supporting teams, and giving the racing community language, tools, and leadership to talk about what usually stays silent. Because when drivers confront the hidden opponent, it doesn't just make them faster, it makes the whole garage stronger. And then, of course, providing our replays here tonight whenever we get a caution to go back and look at what brings out the wrecks. Butt Kicker, bringing a whole new dimension to immersive entertainment. Butt Kicker has pioneered tactile feedback technology that lets you feel the action. Whether you're behind the wheel in a sim rig, watching a blockbuster in your home theater, or in the studio dialing in that low end. With 2 decades of industry leadership, their haptic transducers convert audio signals into physical vibration, turning sounds into sensations. If you've ever wished you could feel that racing shift, explosion, or bass drop, Butt Kicker makes it real. Thankful for all the sponsors that help keep the wheels rolling over here at Intensity Broadcasting. I'm ever grateful for the opportunity to call these races week in and week out. Just keep an eye out on those sponsors and everything. Give them a look sometime when you can, and if any of them are of interest, hopefully they can get your business. So, or get your use. I guess some of them are a little bit more specialized towards certain aspects of different things. So the hidden opponent, definitely a great thing for coaching and getting athletes into the game, whether you're an NASCAR driver or a real life local track short track king, getting that upper hand by fighting mental health battle that we constantly have to deal with. Great tools, great sponsors, great great all around programs that keep things moving. So it looks like 18 folks signed in here tonight. It'll be our first race south of 20 entries here tonight. And with a minute and 25 seconds left in practice here, this can give us an opportunity to look at some standings here tonight. Currently, your Rookie of the Year battle. Leader in the Rookie of the Year conversation at the moment. Race winner from a couple weeks ago, Holden Wheeler, top of the board. Cameron Craighead second. As it is, Holden Wheeler, your only driver in the rookie battle that has won a race this season. Pretty impressive stats, if you ask me. To be a rookie and get to victory lane right out of the gate is pretty impressive. So Holden Wheeler, it took him one start this year to get that win, and it's going to help him greatly in the battle for Rookie of the Year honors. We did not see Samuel Green last race, so he's going to be dropping from that list because we don't see him here tonight either. Cameron Craighead, though, he had a stellar. It's going to be an interesting battle between Craighead. But as I mentioned that, I'm looking at our lineup here today, and I don't see Cameron Craighead in the field. So that's only going to help Holden Wheeler kind of tamp that rookie battle. The highest in the points also running tonight, other than Holden Wheeler, looks to be Christopher Bishop. So that battle, it might take a couple weeks to actually materialize into something special. Practice is in the books here, as it's going to get rolling into qualifying here tonight, and we'll see who has the fastest lap to get to the pole position here today. Last minute entries joining right as practice subsided. Jesse Whittington and Travis Bennett both running here tonight. So hot potato style, we'll go ahead and jump around the field here. Matt Parasini, number 24 machine, who is currently your points leader. Matt Parasini has a 10-point lead over Holden Wheeler, and then a 13-point lead over Corey Bunch. Garrett Walden, his teammate, there in the top 5, and quite a few key names there. What's interesting is the three-way tie for 11th place. Lauren Vincent, Christopher Bishop, and Keith Rasmondo all holding on to that last bubble spot, basically, what would be the chase lockout once the chase starts. There you got the 20 of Cale Thorpe. As we were looking at the standings there, he's currently 16th. And you got Devin Butchino here, the number 68 Ford Mustang. 77 there of Colin Hoffman. Top of the leaderboard, let's see who gets the first turned lap here tonight in qualifying. Matt Parasini jumps to the top, but only for a short period of time, as Holden Wheeler cranks out a faster lap there at a 30.19. Holden Wheeler on his second lap here. We're going to keep the cameras rolling on him to see if he can pick it up. On his second lap in the Sentinel Fit 09 machine there. Coming around for his second timed lap here tonight. And that's going to be better. Turns a 30.13. Currently him and Matt Parasini sit 1-2. Vince Brent settles into third there with his 2 timed laps. Ryan Gomes trying to crank out a second lap here. We'll see if he can get up any higher in the running order. Whoa, and all of a sudden, Sharn Hill laid down a blistering lap, a 30.10. Takes top board honors there over Holden Wheeler. As Ryan Gomes comes around to complete his second lap. Let timing catch up there, 30.11, so second fastest for Ryan Gomes. Whoa, Joe Irwin out of nowhere with a 29.9 quickest lap. Matt Bands as well laid down a 30.07, so the fast times are still out there, it looks like, as we've got some sleepers, some qualifying sleepers, it looks like. You have the 60 of Jeffrey Goodpaster. This will be his first timed lap. You still have some threats that could usurp the top position here. Travis Bennett, Jesse Whittington, both have not yet turned a credited lap yet. We'll see what the 60 has in stock for his first timed lap. Here he is coming to the line. Lap times catch up there. He's at a 30.44. That's best for 14th quickest. Travis Bennett, race winner in the last couple weeks. Bringing it to Kansas here tonight. He's on a limited schedule, but he's whenever he picks a track, he's often a contender for some good action at the front of the field. Jesse Whittington not coming. Ooh, there we go. Cameron Craig had just joined in the nick of time. I was worried that we might see one of our rookies missing from the field here. Whoa, Garrett Walden just nailed a 30.02. Second fastest for Mr. Walden. Yeah, Travis Bennett hits the wall there on one of his speed laps here. That's going to hurt his qualifying time a little bit. And Garrett Walden's on his second. See if he can up it from a 30.02. He's going to drop it to a 30.13. So Joe Irwin, quickest here so far. And I think he's weathered the storm for the most part. It doesn't look like Travis Bennett is going to turn a credited lap here. Yeah, there you go. The end of the qualifying session. So while they take to the grid here, let us look at those standings one more time. Pretty key that Cameron Craig had joined in when he did. He's 7th in the points. Very valid shot at being a contender this year. Other drivers in the mix, you've got Corey Bunch up to 3rd in the points. Unfortunately, there doesn't seem to be a Corey Bunch in the field here tonight. So from 3rd, he might drop pretty far in the points there without a race under his belt here tonight. Of course, we got Garrett Walden, Matt Band, Sharn Hill, Craig Head. David Hartney also absent from the field here tonight. Usually we see him in the Greg Biffle tribute car. So that's going to be an opportunity for Devin Butchino to gain some spots here. Samuel Green also absent. Lauren Vincent, he might be able to gain some spots and stay within the top 12 in points. A very key thing for the drivers dropped out of this one. So it gives other drivers a chance to move up through the rankings. And so with that, we'll go ahead and get you set up for the starting order here tonight. Front row, obviously, belongs to Joe Irwin and Garrett Walden, followed by Matt Bands, Sharn Hill, Ryan Gomes, Holden Wheeler, Devin Butchino with the top 10 qualifying order, Matt Parasini, Vince Brent, Colin Hoffman, that's your top 10. Then you had Cale Thorpe, Christopher Bishop, Lauren Vincent, Josh Hall, Carlton Charles, Jeffrey Goodpaster, Teddy Romanowski, Shane Hines, and we did have 20 cars locked into the field here tonight, 21 to be exact. So we didn't fall south of 20 like we had thought that might have been the case when it started. Jesse Whittington, Cameron Craighead, and Travis Bennett just made it in the tail end of the field here. So this will be, I think, the first time we've seen Joe Irwin this year. He's typically pretty good when it comes to tracks like this. So we'll see how he does tonight.
Green, green, green.
We're off and rolling here tonight for the Kansas 150. There will be a stage break at lap 35. Well, Joe Irwin settles into the early lead here as Garrett Walden in second. Then you have Matt Baynes in third, Sharn Hill in fourth, and here comes Sharn Hill down on the inside. Baynes stuck up high. Definitely the warm-up lap as the drivers try to get a feel for their car on a rolling start, get the tires up to temperature, and start fighting for position. Some smoke ahead. Not sure who. Looks like we had a driver join after the race started. Hunter Hastings, who's usually in the number 44 car. Looks like he joined the server. And he joins the racetrack, so he's already a lap down here tonight, but 3 laps down it looks like. They're going to try to fight for everything they can get here. Meanwhile, Joe Irwin extending that lead pretty sizably there, as Garrett Walden sits in second, Matt Baynes in third, Sharn Hill fourth, and your points leader, Matt Parasini. They're thinking about going 3 wide here for second place. It's pretty early in the race to be getting this aggressive, but when the opportunity's there, you do not want to turn it down. Take every chance you can get to fight for every position, even if it's early on in the race, especially when you've got someone like Joe Irwin just driving away with the lead right now. Well, we're under caution for the first time here tonight. That'll give us an opportunity here to dial up the butt kicker replay and figure out exactly what the caution was for. There we go. So it looks like the 15 here of Christopher Bishop is the one involved to bring out the caution here. That is the 94 of Jesse Whittington getting loose on the exit of the turn, and it just was a domino effect from that point where he ended up hooking into the 15 of Christopher Bishop. Bishop goes for a bit of a wild ride there. It seems like Jesse Whittington maybe minimal damage there on the 94 machine, but that 15 definitely took a hard hit to the outside wall. Comes sliding down the racetrack. And that is the cause for caution here. Caution number 1 here tonight on lap number 5. Definitely very early here, and I don't really forecast too many takers down pit road. Jesse Whittington getting some services taken care of on the damage, possibly from that last caution there. So spending a little bit of extra time on pit road getting it addressed. Getting the wave around. Hunter Hastings looks like he's going to get one of his laps back. I don't know how many laps down he is currently. If he was still 3 laps down, then he's more than likely only 2 laps down. Looks like maybe he's back on the lead lap, so we'll see. If you check the ticker there, he's actually gotten past Jesse Whittington. Yeah, Hastings back on the lead lap. It seems like the ticker kind of got behind. He only missed 1 lap then. Back to the lead he is. So we're going to try to keep the spotlight on some of the top runners, the leaders in our season so far. Obviously, your Rookie of the Year leader, number 09 there of Holden Wheeler, up into 6th. And look at that, you can keep the camera on the 2 leaders so far because Matt Parasini just ahead of him right there. Not too far apart, your points leader, the 24 machine there. Well, we'll keep an eye on their progress here today and see how things shake up. But amazingly enough, Joe Irwin, a first start of the season. We saw him run a couple starts last year, kind of on a limited schedule, similar to that of the 01 of Travis Bennett, who picks and chooses, kind of avoids the tracks they don't like and only hits the tracks they really like. So that number 03 machine is often tough to beat. Joe Irwin up front leading laps early in this one. But how about Matt Bands, Sharn Hill? Great qualifying run for them. Here they are at the front half of the field. Front into the field, basically. Not even just the front half. We're getting back and rolling here tonight on lap number 9. Great jump there for Joe Irwin as he wasted no time getting up to speed. And this battle, it might not just be a Rookie of the Year battle. It could be a battle for the overall points lead like we were looking. Holden Wheeler ain't far off from getting into the mix with Matt Parasini for the overall points lead in this situation. The only big difference is how Matt Parasini has really dialed it in for the bonus points week in and week out. And Holden Wheeler, the deficit is basically the lack of those bonus points when it comes to stages and other forms of bonus points that they can accrue throughout the week. I myself learned today that if they have a 0x in iRacing incident reports, they get bonus points for that too. So that is a huge factor. Kind of awards the drivers that stay clear of chaos and contact and are getting rewarded points in favor of that. So Holden Wheeler, unfortunately, his bonus point count is nowhere near that of the 24, and that's the big reason the 24 has such a sizable gap as the overall points leader. A little bit of contact there in the background. I think that might have been the 60 of Jeffrey Goodpaster getting into the wall just a little bit. It was nearly 3 wide at the mid-pack there. Yeah, so that's the thing. It's been stage points that has been the big difference. 20 stage points that Matt Parasini has gotten over Holden Wheeler. 33 stage points for Parasini and 13 for Holden Wheeler, and that puts them at a 10-point deficit, which is pretty wild if you ask me. The fact that they're that close, but the difference is being right there during these stages. I mean, that shows you how important, how valid the stages are, that these points are being credited towards an overall points lead at the moment. And just like that, Matt Parasini during the stage here, first stage of the night, working his way up through the field, looking at second and possibly trying to run down the race leader. If he gets another stage win, that's just more points that he could bank and try, you know, to save himself from having a bad second half of the race. And meanwhile, Holden Wheeler not doing too bad, holding on to a 6th place at the moment. How about Cameron Craighead up 15 spots after joining late? He had qualified dead last here tonight. That number 1 machine, Cameron Craighead, right there fighting alongside Rookie of the Year contender. Those two rookies looking to maybe even the odds a little bit. Cameron Craighead wants to be in the mix and fight for as many points as possible. The number 1 Jack Shack Toyota Camry, that is. Devin Butchino in the picture there as well, up to 7. Having a pretty solid start to the night. Other gainers include that of Jeffrey Goodpaster, who's up 7 spots. Travis Bennett, who's up 8 spots from his start. And even Hunter Hastings, who joined the race after it already started. He's up +6. Right there behind the likes of Carlton Charles. And it's your race leader, Joe Irwin, over Matt Parasini now. Matt Parasini wants to hunt him down to try and get the stage win. Deficit down to about half a second. He was able to get by his teammate there and Garrett Walden with Cypress Academy. Joe Irwin starting to stretch that gap back out again, up to a 0.7 second advantage. Whoa, the 72 of Matt Bands getting roughed up a little bit there with the 1 of Cameron Craighead. That was some aggressive racing there. You can see in the background, I tried to jump back as quickly as we could. Matt Bands is getting, and he got into the wall. They're racing hard for this position here. Craighead still trying to pick off as many spots as he can here, as seems like maybe he's used his stuff up a little bit. Holden Wheeler, oh no! Ah, man.
The yellow flag is out.
You could sense the energy was just a little bit off back there. It's where the cameras gravitated towards, and unfortunately brings out our second caution here tonight. Quite a few cars involved. Tough break. Let's dial up that butt kicker replay and try to get a better vantage from all the different perspectives here tonight. So, firstly, the main contact starts right here with the number 1 of Craighead and the 72 of Bands. Craighead down below the line. Bands, it looks like holding his line. He's right there. Man, the 1 just slides way up the track. Gets into the 72 right there. And going for the spin. The 72 loses it. But the big problem is up the racetrack. After he slides down, he comes back into traffic. Collects Ryan Gomes. The 1 not able to avoid the wreck he started there. Also gets collected up in it. just a little bit further ahead. Even the 01 of Travis Bennett and the 07 there of Lauren Vincent get into each other. This is extracurricular after the fact. Unfortunately, you can see ahead of here 72 of bands getting turned. And so the 01, I think, keeps it in the gas here, trying to get through the wreck, and a lot of the other drivers checking up to try and avoid it. That's the thing. They come sliding right up in front of Lauren Vincent. The 01 goes down. Oh, the 07 of Vincent, unfortunately, had already lost it, and that collected the 01 there of Travis Bennett in the midst of the wreck there. Looks like Joe Irwin pitting while the caution's going down here. We're trying to get as much of the replay here as possible. I think we've seen it here. So let's hop back to live. Yeah, so looks like Joe Irwin has pulled down and pitted, relinquishing the lead up to the stage break here. That changes the lead on over to Matt Parasini. Garrett Walden, Holden Wheeler, and Devin Butchino, your top four. Alrighty, lights are off. It looks like we're going to have about 10 laps left here in stage. We'll see how the takers down pit road change up the complexion of this restart here, as we'll have different drivers starting on the front row for the first time here tonight. And here we go.
Green flag, green flag.
There you go. There's the battle. This is the big one. Getting those stage points. The 09. Holden Wheeler, 10 short of the lead overall in the points battle, the championship points battle, and has given up 20 stage points to the guy he's fighting with right there of Matt Parasini. So you got to imagine the gloves are off right now with 9 laps left in the stage. He's going to want to get every point possible. Looks like he's going to have the lead heading into this caution here. We'll see where the timing and scoring puts him. They might actually be crediting Matt Parasini as the leader. We'll have to wait and see, but let's go ahead and dial up the butt kicker replay here tonight to see what brought out caution flag number 2. Whoa, yeah, okay. So, back here, back into the field, you've got the 15 of Christopher Bishop and the 81 of Josh Hall. You got the green car there, gets right into Josh Hall, spins him across his nose, and both the cars get slammed into the outside wall there. 81 of Josh Hall, hard hit, as well as Christopher Bishop with a hard hit there. Tough break for the second caution here tonight. Well, as we're under caution here, we had a slight mishap with the 44 car. As they're rolling around under caution, that is the 44 there of Hunter Hastings, whom joined the server late. I almost wonder if maybe a steering wheel disconnected from the computer or what. It's there up on the apron. And you can see the car just veers all over the place. I don't know. Weird. But ultimately, this doesn't end until nearly turns 4. As you keep watching the replay here. Seems like he's got input from the steering wheel, so I don't know what happened here. Down on the apron. Oh, and just hooks it into the outside wall. Whoa, and the 03. That was a close call for Joe Irwin there when that all went down. So we're still shy of the stage break, and it looks like Matt Pericini is credited with the lead. Alrighty. Time to step up to the plate and deliver. Holden Wheeler wants to try and be a Rookie of the Year contender and a championship contender. And this might be an opportunity to present that argument that he is here to fight for it either way.
Green flag, green flag.
Green flag waves. They're off and rolling here with what will be 5 laps left in the stage. Matt Pericini, will he rack up even more stage points here tonight, or could Holden Wheeler start raising the raising the stakes? Start gambling here with house money. Good run there from the 09 on the inside, charging into turn 3. He's going to come out of turn 4 with a little bit of an advantage here. They come down the front stretch. Wheeler leads the lap right at the line. 24 not giving up, though. He's fighting tooth and nail on the outside. You got the 68 of Butchino also in the picture there. And now Holden Wheeler gets to shut the door on the 24. Devin Butchino now up to second. The 24 at risk of falling further back. Could be looking at a stage winner somewhere amongst the top 4 there. Butchino with a good run. Look at that. Nice run through the line. Oh, and the 24 runs out of room, hits the wall. Passover maneuver attempt, but the 68 quells the beast there. The 24 has to fall in line. Did see some chaos in the background there, but I don't see a caution, so everyone keeping it clean and keeping it rolling. Holden Wheeler still holding the lead at the moment over Devin Butchino. And here we are coming to 2 to go in the stage. Devin Butchino closing that gap down to 1/4 of a second now. Holden Wheeler, if all things work out in his favor here tonight, he could be leading 2 different segments of the season. Obviously, commentators jinx. I do not want to jinx that. I don't want to throw those the voodoo dolls out there, but good start to the night for sure. Your Rookie of the Year leader and runner-up in the overall point standings. Devin Butchino has come within a quarter of a second, but it's not looking like he'll take the stage over the 09. All Holden Wheeler's got to do is be mistake-free for turns 3 and 4. And on the exit here, new stage winner of the season coming home. Stage win here at Kansas tonight.
The yellow flag
The
is
09 of Holden Wheeler. Your race winner a couple weeks ago, the season opener at Daytona. He was ecstatic to get that first career win here in the SCSRA Cup Series. And like I think I mentioned at that time, possibly one of many. We're seeing another stellar run here tonight. That 09 running up front, leading laps, and winning stage number 1 here tonight. Only one stage, obviously. We get a couple races of the season where there's a pair of stages. But yeah, stage winner here tonight at Kansas. Mad credit there for Devin Butchino to cruise up to second. Joe Irwin, even with a pit stop, has slid his way back into third. Falling back to fourth, that is Garrett Walden. And running in fifth, it's Matt Parasini and Vince Brent. So a trio there for Cypress Academy. 4, 5, and 6. Then you have Jeffrey Goodpaster. Ryan Gomes, even though he was involved in that last caution, looks like they got the car squared away, and he's back up here in the top 10. Sharon Hill with a drop back to 9th. Jesse Whittington with a climb up into the top 10. Travis Bennett right there behind him. But he's off the racetrack, it sounds like. Having a good showing here tonight. Colin Hoffman, Cale Thorpe, and now the pit stops. Everyone heading down the pits, except for, it looks like Christopher Bishop stays out, but that might be a pit next lap kind of deal. So Holden Wheeler comes in with the lead after winning the stage. We'll see how he shakes out during the pit stops here. Whoa, Joe Irwin with a quick pit stop. He's going to come out first. And following in second, you've got the 09 of Holden Wheeler, Devin Butchino, Garrett Walden, Matt Parasini. That's your what should be your top 5 once they get sorted out there. Then it's Vince Brent, Ryan Gomes, Jeffrey Goodpaster, Jesse Whittington. That'll be your top 10. But getting back to the lead, as he pitted during that first caution, seems like maybe did a gas and go or maybe just a 2-tire stop this time. Gave him an opportunity to kind of switch it up during the stage break here, and it gets back to the front of the field where he earlier started this race. Well, lights are out on the pace car. They're doubled up. Christopher Bishop did not pit. He stays out and inherits the race lead here heading to the restart after stage end. We'll get the green flag here on lap 40. Leading the field. Christopher Bishop involved in a couple wrecks here tonight, but
green flag.
he ain't going to let that phase him as he's going to get up front and lead some laps. Holden Wheeler second on that inside line. Devin Butchino second on the outside line. Oh no, losing it right out of the lead. Christopher Bishop led a lap, and unfortunately the tires that he was staying out on could not hold him there. Race stays green. Spinner from the lead, and now Joe Irwin, your new leader here, back to where he once was at the start of tonight's race. Up to second, it is, looks like Devin Butchino now moves in on Holden Wheeler there for second. Great battles brewing all over the track. Yeah, Holden Wheeler falls back to third. And then it is the Cypress Academy trio right there behind them in fourth, fifth, and sixth. They do have Jesse Whittington in the field with them here tonight as well. So make that the quad, not the trio, as Jesse Whittington is now moved up to seventh, putting Cypress Academy at fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh. Joe Irwin not really getting away with the lead this time. We saw him stretch that lead out during the initial start of the race, but Devin Butchino within half a second of the lead here, not letting him get too far away. Oh, hard hit in the background there. I want to say that might have been Lauren Vincent. Yeah, it was definitely Lauren Vincent on that last lap. Kissed the wall. You saw the smoke flying after hitting the wall. We'll maybe try to keep an eye on the situation there to see if his car is unhappy after that hard hit. But back to the front, following our leaders here. It looks like Devin Butchino now defending Holden Wheeler in his advance here. Butchino starting to reel in the 0-3 there of Joe Irwin. Kind of the constant ebb and flow. You see him close in and then lose ground and then close in again. Looks like he's back on the losing ground side of things. Man, yeah, just on stage points alone here tonight, Holden Wheeler showed up and got the stage point bonus there. However, right behind him is Matt Parasini, and the points are going to be hard to come by when hunt down the overall championship lead from the likes of Matt Parasini, who has just been on a rail this year. Season 12, and Matt Parasini, his opening start with the first 3 races of the season. He ended up finishing, let's see, 19th, 2nd, and 6th. So each driver's kind of got the one mulligan race. It looked like for Parasini, that happened to be Daytona with a 19th place finish. No, wait, I got that backwards. That was Rockingham. I was looking at it upside down. So his one mulligan was last week. Other than that, he started the season off with a 6th at Daytona and a 2nd at Michigan. If you look at Holden Wheeler and his stats so far this season, obviously he started out on a high note with a win at Daytona, a 3rd at Michigan, and his worst race has been a 14th. So the crazy part is he has not finished as bad as the likes of Matt Pericini, who had a 19th place finish last week at Rockingham. His worst finish was also Rockingham, but it was a 14th. That stage bonus, huge, huge difference in the points conversation. Now look at that, Devin Butchino. He's catching the 03, and he's going to be right there knocking on the door before too long. Yeah, unfortunately, missing Corey Bunch in the field here tonight is going to hurt that points scenario just a little bit. Yeah, it's crazy. Corey Bunch, he's actually not failed to finish worse than top 10 all year. An 8th at Daytona, a 9th at Michigan, and a 2nd last week at Rockingham, and unfortunately did not make the lineup here tonight. His teammate, however, Travis Bennett, did make the lineup here tonight. He's having a decent run in 8th at the moment. But we'll see how the rest of the night goes here. Matt Pericini trying to get around the 09 of Holden Wheeler for 3rd place. Here he is getting around on the inside. The 09 maybe used up his tires just a little bit here. He's having to defend the advance from the 24. So right now, obviously Holden Wheeler playing on house money after winning the stage. Those bonus points are going to put him ahead of the 24. Whoa, and that was up front. One of our leaders, Joe Irwin, loses it from the lead. Let's go back a lap here and see exactly what happened. He was leading the race over Devin Butchino. And Devin Butchino way too far back to even, oh, he gets on the apron and loses it from the lead. Man, that's the 2nd driver from the lead here since the restart. And also the 2nd driver to not bring out a caution as we stay green through all of it. So back to the front of the field for the first time here tonight, Devin Butchino with 96 laps left to go. What a crazy turn of events there, as 68 was just kind of minding his business, biding his time until he could find a way to get around the 03. Well, Joe Irwin unfortunately took matters into his own hands by making a mistake and gave the 68 the lead here. Still a lot of racing left here tonight. So leading the race right now to the tune of a 0.9 second advantage over Matt Pericini Garrett Walden another half second back, and Holden Wheeler slots his way back into fourth, holding on to that position. Sharn Hill up to fifth. Jesse Whittington up into the top 10, fighting with 6th place at the moment. How about Carlton Charles with the 7th place run? Travis Bennett, Ryan Gomes, and Cale Thorpe, your top 10. Staying pretty consistent with the advantages there. Let's hop around the racetrack and see some of the other battles brewing right now. One of the tightest groups of battling here. You got Carlton Charles, Travis Bennett, and Ryan Gomes fighting for 7th, 8th, and 9th right there under a blanket. We've got 16 cars on the lead lap. So far, running out there, laps down, you've got Josh Hall, Joe Irwin, and it looks like on pit road, Shane Hines, and 3 retirements at the moment of Teddy Romanowski, Cameron Craighead, and Hunter Hastings. Parasini losing the gap here to Devin Butchino as he's extended it to a full 1.16 second advantage. Garrett Walden in 3rd, and now a battle for 4th as Sharn Hill gets around Holden Wheeler here. Teammates there at Sentinel Motorsports. Holden Wheeler, Sharn Hill, and Matt Baines all racing together here tonight. Now, even with getting involved in a wreck here tonight, Matt Baines still on the lead lap, currently running in 15th. He's trying to recover, resurge, and get as many points back as he lost. Jeffrey Goodpaster has moved up and fallen back just as much as, so it seems like a lot of drivers having a tough second half here at least, or rolling into the second half, as your new front of the field, Devin Butchino, Parasini, and Walden kind of walking away with it here at the moment. Jesse Whittington knocking on a top 5 here. He's got Holden Wheeler set in his sights. See him closing in on this this duo pictured on the camera there. Sharn Hill, Holden Wheeler, 4th and 5th. Plus 13 for Jesse Whittington. Quite the recovery night for him, as he's right there in the picture. Might just need a caution eventually to get things bunched back up, and he could be mixing it up for a race win here tonight. Run that high, wide, and handsome line, currently popularized by Kyle Larson, who likes to run that outside line. Back in the day, there were a couple other drivers that definitely wore out that outside groove. Takes a, Usually it's a dirt guy, I think. I feel like it's usually someone that's very accustomed to dirt racing that runs that outside line, because that's usually where the berm is at a dirt track. You want to get your tires up there on the berm, and not in the berm, but right up at the edge of the berm. Try to get as much speed as he can put down to the racetrack. Works a little bit differently on pavement, obviously, but nonetheless, takes a certain skill set, a certain driver to be able to pull it off and master it. Devin Butchino still leading by a large gap over Pericini. And then the teammates there for Cypress Academy, Garrett Walden and Matt Pericini are catching each other here. Walden wants to get around to get back up to second where he started here tonight. Matt Pericini just trying to hold on for as many points as he can possibly rack up here tonight. Jesse Whittington gets up into the top 5 for the first time here tonight, plus 14 to the good. Holden Wheeler's going to bounce back, try to battle for that position. Excuse me, battle for that position. Whoa, and that was a slide job if I had ever seen one. Aggressive, but he made it work, and he got back ahead of Jesse Whittington there. That looked kind of sketchy, honestly. He's going to slide back in front of Whittington here, so I think cooler heads prevailing at the moment, just trying to avoid making a mistake. Here comes Jesse Whittington, sticking his nose down low there. And 225 miles the distance here tonight. It's definitely a pretty solid length race for these drivers. Ah, man, I think might have been the smoke ahead had to have been by someone, and I'm thinking it must have been Carlton Charles. Yep, there you go. Gets on pit road, smokes it up a little bit. Hard to tell if that was the smoke we saw on track or not, but I've tried to refresh the paint on that car. It seems like maybe he's not running trading paints, as everyone else's paint is there. I don't know what's going on with his car in particular. But I tried resetting during one of the caution periods here, reset the paints, and it did not come through. Well, Garrett Walden gets by Matt Pericini to take over second place here. Sharn Hill trying to close in on the lead trio here. Butchino dealing with some lap traffic just a little bit further ahead. Halfway through the race here tonight, 75 laps in, 75 laps to go. Well, Garrett Walden starting to close the gap in here on Devin Butchino just a little bit as he's stretched it out on his teammate Matt Parasini, up to a 1.2 second advantage over him. Sharn Hill now closing in, and we've got a battle for fourth, fifth, and even third on the line here as Jesse Whittington's knocking on the door. And Whittington trying to test the lines here, figure out the right line to get into to get around the 5 here of Sharn Hill. Sharn holding on to fourth. Here he is going around for third. That's going to put Matt Parasini back. And battling for the podium position is Sharn Hill with 60 laps to go. Actually, 70 laps. Great run here from Sharn Hill and Jesse Whittington, as it looks like green flag pit stops are underway. Matt Parasini peels off to make his pit stop here with just about 68 laps to go. Not sure if that's cutting it right down the middle. They got back to green at about lap 40. So, man, 42 laps? That's more than likely going to be another pit stop for everyone involved here tonight. It's going to be about a 2-stopper from here on out, or at least 2 more stops, that is. Devin Butchino staying out, Garrett Walden staying out, and Jesse Whittington now moves his way up to third. Travis Bennett in fourth, Lauren Vincent up to fifth as they stay out, and everyone else decidingly pitting. Focus in on your race leader there, Devin Butchino. Obviously, as we've highlighted from the start of this season, honoring his mom, who unfortunately passed away. And the terming of the race series this season has been the Tammy Butchino Memorial Cup Series, season number 12. Can only imagine how crazy that would be to win a race in the season, paying tribute to your mom. It's one of those tough things in life, unfortunately, loss and moving on from it and getting closer to those that are still with you, your loved ones and all that. It's often a pivotal moment in life. It's a hard one to handle, but we often have to face it at one point or another in life, and we're here to pay tribute and remember the spirit and the memory. I may not have known Tammy Butchino personally, but I would be honored if I was being paid tribute to in any form after the fact. It's often the memories that you leave behind. There's 2 times that a person dies. It's you obviously pass away, and the second time is when no one else mutters your name. So I'm sorry I went off on a little tangent there, but we're paying honors, paying tribute, and definitely still alive in spirit, Tammy Butchino. That's kind of what I was trying to get at. So making his pit stop, rolling back out here in 7th, and it looks like Whittington also making his pit stop here. So cycling back, it looks like Matt Parasini may be up to the lead here. He gets out on the undercut strategy, pitting first, and beating Devin Butchino off with the pit strategy call there to shake things up a little bit. Obviously, if this race stays green, it's going to be a battle of strategies here tonight. Matt Pericini, Devin Butchino, Garrett Walden, Jesse Whittington, and Sharn Hill shake out your top 5 here after the first round of green flag pit stops. Jesse Whittington gained 16 spots here tonight to get up to 3rd, running at the moment. And Travis Bennett up 15 spots from the start of the race. They may not have qualified the best, but they're here trying to make up for lost time. Matt Pericini might have the lead for now, but Devin Butchino closing that gap. Look at that. Getting tighter here for the lead here on lap 90. Matt Pericini, your points leader. He's trying to rack up as many points here tonight. It looks like the 09, unfortunately, falling backwards, falls a lap down here. Holden Wheeler in 14th, your rookie of the year. Leader in the point standings for that. He's 2nd in the overall point standings, hunting down Matt Pericini. Stage winner here tonight, but unfortunately fighting off of his back at the moment in 14th. So we'll see if he can recover. Well, the gap has kind of plateaued. Butchino not gaining as much ground as he once was. It's still at a 0.3 second advantage to Matt Pericini. Jesse Whittington, Garrett Walden, and Sharn Hill, not much has changed there. But here comes Butchino trying some moves, trying to gain some ground. You see some lap traffic upon the horizon there. This could be one of your battles for the win here tonight. It could be up between Matt Pericini, Devin Butchino, and Jesse Whittington. Still waiting to see who's got the best strategy in the game here. Obviously, Matt Pericini had to pit early, and because of that, the undercut gave him the advantage to get the lead here.
Caution, yellow flag.
Whoa, what's our, I think it's been a while since we had a caution. This is our 3rd caution for cause, 4th caution of the night, counting the stage break. And so we will pause and re-rack them. It'll give them an opportunity to decide if they're going to pit here under the caution or try to spread it out. So bringing in the 3rd caution of the day here tonight. Looks like it's going to involve. We've had some spinners here tonight not bring out a caution. It looks like Matt Bain spins in the same spot that our race leaders unfortunately lost it here tonight. We saw Joe Irwin lose it there, and even the 15 of Christopher Bishop lose it from the lead. 72 of Bain spins, and they decided not to sit on the yellow this time, giving us a nice, neat little break here in the racing action. Baines loses it. Doesn't look like he gets much contact, so pretty mild wreck for the 72. He'll be able to recover and get back into the mix here tonight. But this really does change up the whole game plan here tonight. Guarantee you most of the leaders here were banking on it staying green and seeing yet another round of green flag pit stops. They ain't going to waste any time. They're going to come down pit road and get their services done with 54 laps to go. We saw most of them take their pit stops anywhere from the 45 to like 50 lap range, so it's hard to say if this will be good to go for everyone involved down pit road here if they can make it to the finish. I would like to hope that we don't have any fuel mileage woes unfold here tonight. If we're going off of my previous knowledge through NASCAR Racing 2003 season, I feel like 60 laps is the window here. So if they're pit now with 53 to go, they should be good. So hopefully, mark my words, but we do have a couple drivers that are doing the opposite and staying out here. Whether or not they pit within the next lap or two before the pace car pulls off, we'll see. That's given me a little bit of hesitancy to back those words I marked. If you've got a couple drivers thinking it's a great idea to stay out here and get ahead of the curveball and save the pit stop for later. We saw Christopher Bishop do this exact same thing before the last restart where he stayed out, led a lap, and spun out. So here he is with, it looks like Colin Hoffman on the inside. They're going to lead them to the restart here tonight on lap 98, leaving us with 51 laps to go. There's no way they can make it. They're going to have to pit again at least one more time, but that might mark the fact that even the likes of Matt Parasini, Devin Butchino, Jesse Whittington, all of them will have to pit one more time too, since we saw the window at about 45 to 50. It's enough to give you a little bit of a headache if you're trying to follow along, and I hope it just pans out for some good hardcore racing here tonight. A lot of racing left here tonight, a lot that can happen. Pace car pulls off, and it's going to be Christopher Bishop and Colin Hoffman leading them through the restart zone. It's a slow roll. You're going to see the domino effect through the field there as they could not get up to speed near as quickly as the guys behind with fresh tires. Hoffman getting gobbled up rapidly here from the lead. Moving up into the picture now, the 01 of Travis Bennett fighting for a top 5. Man, how about that? Lauren Vincent up to 7. He was ecstatic last week about getting a top 5 finish for the first time ever. And here he is again, making some moves to get up closer to the top 5 here tonight in Kansas. He might start becoming the top 5 merchant before long, figuring out ways to get up there and fight for a top 5. Sometimes that is the key, getting consistent finishes. Whoa, in the 94. Jesse Whittington falling backwards rapidly here. He had to kind of protect the line there with his teammate, the 92 of Vince Brent. Brent goes by, blows by. Jesse Whittington dropping like a rock at the moment. But, yet again, could that be strategy? Could he be simply trying to save fuel? We know that the window is close, and it's not exact, but chances are maybe Jesse Whittington pulling a high IQ move here. As long as he does not bring out the caution falling as far back as he did like that. Stays green. If it stays green and everyone else has to pit, he could be trying to self-save, save at the pump, and figure out a way to sneak one out here tonight. For your race leaders, though, they are not worried about saving. They want to burn through all the gas, and whether that means making a late race pit stop for a quick gas sip and go, we'll see. Parasini, though, driving away from Devin Butchino at the moment. The bigger the advantage you can build here, the better, as making that last pit stop should be a quick concession for your leaders. You never know what everyone else's game plan is here tonight, like Jesse Whittington. And then how about Christopher Bishop and Colin Hoffman, who decided to stay out? They gained the track position here. They might not have on the likes of Colin Hoffman and Christopher Bishop, who may be pitting here within the next 20 laps, but that means they'll have...
The yellow flag is out.
Ah, man, in the yellow, the one thing that basically nullifies everything I was about to explain there. We get our fourth caution for cause here tonight, here on lap 105, 106. We'll go ahead and check out the replay here tonight to figure out what caused the caution. And this is almost a perfect scenario where everyone should be able to pit now and not have to worry too much about the fuel windows. Already 3 wide ahead of Joe Irwin there. That is Carlton Charles in the white car. Coming down low, Joe Irwin sliding through the corner. Nope, it looks like Charles loses it and the 03 gets collected in it there to bring out our fourth caution of the night. Fifth if you count the stage break. Pretty mild for the most part. We'll have to look and see how hard hit. Yeah, Carlton Charles hit the inside wall pretty hard there. So this puts us in a almost perfect window, 43 laps to the green to the checkers. Overtime, a little bit iffy. If you get more than one overtime restart here tonight, that might be some very touchy territory to get into. But to make it through regulation to lap 150, I don't think they've got a whole lot to worry about. Especially since they're going to burn a couple laps under caution here and get back to green with about 39 laps to go. They should be almost perfect to end this race under regulation. But those are the famous last words of everyone. You make it to regulation is one thing. We might not see the white flag. We might get another caution. Might get a couple cautions. You never know. But the games continue to unfold here a little bit. Cale Thorpe deciding to stay out while everyone else pits and gets the green gas to go to the finish. Cale Thorpe, though, we'll see what his game plan is. Matt Parasini in second. Garrett Walden in third. Devin Butchino running in fourth. Travis Bennett in fifth. Holden Wheeler gets back from being a lap down here tonight. He's fighting for a top 10. Lauren Vincent running in 10th. Jesse Whittington trying to bounce back after having some struggles there, falling back on that last restart. Alrighty, we're getting back to green.
Green flag.
Cale Thorpe, Matt Parasini resetting the field here tonight. They're drafting like it's a plate track. 2 of them bunched up on the outside, 3 of them bunched up on the inside. The advancement going in the favor of the draft. They get blown around there. They were all bunched up, and now they're all spread out. Wow, looking on the outside there, that is the 94 of Jesse Whittington with a heck of a run on the outside. Looking at maybe trying to go around the outside here again. That'll be a bold move if he sticks it, makes it 4 wide here. Window closed, and he's stuck behind his teammate, the 43. He's got to go under, get around him. 20, unfortunately, makes the mistake of staying out on old tires, and he's dropping backwards here. But mixing it in for the win here tonight. Got Devin Butchino up to second, Travis Bennett in third. Vince Brent up to fourth, and Holden Wheeler makes his way back into the top 5. Then also Lauren Vincent up to sixth, looking to try and match his record best from last week at Rockingham with the top 5 finish. Could he potentially go back-to-back top 5s? Vince Brent looking solid here when it counts the most, making some moves in amongst the top 5. Ooh, Lauren Vincent gets into the outside wall and falls backwards there, losing a couple spots, loses a spot to Jesse Whittington, and now Sharn Hill gets around him as well. Vince Brent goes way high. He's glued to the wall like Ross Chastain with the Hail Melon. And now he's falling backwards, back to 6th. Brings Jesse Whittington, his teammate, back up into the top 5 here tonight. And he's left duking it out for 6th, 7th, and 8th at the moment. All in the meanwhile, your leaders, Matt Parasini, Devin Butchino, Travis Bennett, now Holden Wheeler getting back into the picture right at the end of the race. 35 laps left to go. As I'd been hyping up this battle all night, it looked like Holden Wheeler had fallen off the radar there. Went a lap down and was fighting in 14th. Got a couple cautions to fall his way, got the wave around, got the lucky dog. And here he is back up to second, trying to run down the points leader, Matt Parasini. It could be a points battle in the regular season, one for the ages. You know, having a grizzled veteran such as Matt Parasini and an up-and-coming rookie.
The yellow flag is out.
Ah, man, we're under yellow once again here tonight. Caution flag number 6 on the evening comes out at lap 116 here. Go ahead and kick in the replay and figure out who was involved here for the wreck. So running up in 5th place, that is the 94 of Jesse Whittington. He enters the turn slideways already, coming into turn 3 there. Tries to save it. He's in Tokyo drift land at that point, just holding the drift. But whenever you're drifting like that, the opportunity to overcorrect always seems to present itself with these next-gen cars. Pretty graceful spin there. Hits the wall there in the entrance to turn 4. That's probably the worst part of it, as it looks like a pretty calm spinner out of the 94 of Jesse Whittington. For him, this might be an opportunity to make a pit stop and just try to fight back to the front of the field. Yep, making a pit stop. He can get some... Whoa, the 43 also damaged up here. What happened to the 43 machine? Oh, wow, there was an extra wreck during the caution there. And it was a double whammy for Cypress Academy, as when the 43 spun, the 94 ahead also loses it on the same lap. What a wild chain of events. And I'm wondering if maybe the 94 spun when the caution came out. Might need to do some detective work on this one and try to see where the lights are. Maybe he spun out because the yellow came on and it threw him for a curveball. No, it did not. So in the meanwhile, he's losing it while his teammate, the 43 of Garrett Walden, gets totally wiped out. Man, that's crazy. Crazy chain of events. The caution did not come out for Garrett Walden, but rather his teammate, Jesse Whittington. Well, now sets us up for the battle that we've been waiting for all night. The rookie versus the veteran. They've been up here duking it out, sometimes falling backwards and sometimes getting back to the front. Parasini has not fallen too far from the front at all here tonight, but Holden Wheeler, he's had a stock market, looks like the portfolio of stock exchange where you want to cash out right now while you're at the top. 09, a Holden Wheeler could still secure another win here tonight if he plays his cards right. Matt Parasini still looking for race win number 1. Amazingly enough, he has not won, and yet he is your current points leader. So here we go, resetting for 30 laps to go.
Green, green, green.
You got what you've got. Time to show it. This was a restart like earlier where we saw Wheeler on the outside and he ended up winning stage break here tonight. So unfortunately falls in line behind Parasini. Maybe a strategic move to just follow the line for now. No reason to take the lead until it matters the most. Wait until 5 or so laps to go to really make it work. At the same time, you're saving your stuff, trying to follow the line of the 24. Moving up to third, that's Travis Bennett now. Wow, he went way high and got stuck on the wall again. We've seen that move a couple times, and maybe not from him in particular. That Ross Chastain Hail Melon line strikes again here tonight. Doesn't seem to fall too far off, and here we go. Holden Wheeler with a charge to the lead. Matt Parasini's trying to defend. He's trying to block the advance. The 09 stays high. The 24 commits low. And now Devin Butchino back up to third. He's led quite a few laps here tonight. Well, we're down to 25 laps to go here tonight. Top 2 in the points have cycled their way to top 2 in the field. The Sentinel Fit number 09 of Holden Wheeler was able to secure race win number 1 this season at Daytona. Matt Parasini has been killing them with consistency and is currently a points leader based on bonus points and stage points to really merit that overall points lead. Then you've got the likes of Devin Butchino in the mix here tonight, and Travis Bennett, who kind of cherry picks the schedule. Travis Bennett, last race out that he ran, he won. He's got some work to do to catch up to the leaders here tonight. Holden Wheeler makes a bit of a mistake there, loses it and slides up into the outside lane, kisses the wall a little bit, and he's losing some ground to your race leader now, Matt Parasini, building a gap. 22 laps to go for all the marbles now. For Holden Wheeler, trying to harness what he's been able to harness the last couple weeks for some solid finishes week in, week out. And for Matt Parasini, just trying to maintain his excellence as the points leader. He would like to quiet the doubters and prove that he's got the points lead, not just by points alone, but also by winning some races. Don't count out Devin Butchino in the Neon Racing number 68 machine. He's riding with a little bit extra spirit, a little bit more pep in his step, I'd imagine. With a good run here tonight, trying to rebound for his best finish of the season so far. You know, once all these drivers that the veterans of the sport, once they get clicking, you don't know how the championship's going to unfold here this season. We could see some more heated battles, not just the likes of Matt Parasini and Holden Wheeler, but throw in there the likes of Devin Butchino, Garrett Walden, Ryan Gomes. If they're all on their top game, you might not be able to decipher a race winner week in and week out, as it could be any one of those drivers racking up wins throughout the last 10 races of the season coming up. Well, Holden Wheeler unfortunately lost the ground there as Devin Butchino gets by for second. Matt Parasini still has nearly a full second gap over Butchino and Wheeler both. And for Butchino, he knocked off a 10th there. If he can knock off a 10th every lap for the next several laps, he'll be within the lead with about 10 to go. Most of the field may be hoping that it stays green all the way here. A couple drivers might not be very happy if we get any green-white checkered attempts past the regulation here tonight. Devin Butchino loses about a 10th that last lap, so now he's starting to lose some ground as Parasini is dialing it in here at the end. Battle for 7th and 8th going down right here between Bishop and Walden. Try to keep an eye on some of the other battles around the racetrack here, fighting for a top 10 finish, top 10 position finish. 7th or 8th between these two. Walden gets right up there alongside Bishop, side by side on the exit of turn 4. They're not given an inch as they continue to battle. Right down to the wire. Holden Wheeler starting to reel in. Devin Butchino, or is that... Oh no, Vince Brent is reeling in Holden Wheeler, as Devin Butchino's got nearly a full second advantage over Holden Wheeler at the moment. So Cypress Academy's top runner at the moment, Vince Brent, the 92 machine. Actually, I take that back. The 24 of Matt Parasini. Next in line, it's Vince Brent for Cypress Academy. Got kind of sidetracked there, my bad. Matt Parasini is the top in running order for Cypress Academy. They're still trying to track for majority of the team in the top 10. Looks like Garrett Walden is 7th, Jesse Whittington 9th, Vince Brent in 4th, and Matt Parasini leading. 13 laps to go. Parasini's advantage down to 0.62 seconds, and it's starting to shrink just a little bit. 0.58 was the lowest there, but he's starting to stretch it back out a little bit. Yeah, 13 to go. Butchino trying to close that gap. It's down to 0.43. You can see the advance here being made by Devin Butchino. With the race win on the line, is he going to be able to do anything to get around the 24 machine? Right now, able to kind of get within the draft a little bit and maybe start helping his pace to catch up to the 24, but catching them is one thing, passing them is a whole different story. As we're down to 10 laps to go now. He's still reeling him in. He's still going to have to pick it off by about nearly a 10th a lap at this point to really have a shot at fighting for the win. Ooh, and he kissed the wall there on the exit of turn 4. But it didn't seem to phase him. He's carrying that speed through the front stretch. He's trying to find every last inch of the racetrack to get a good run here at the end of the race. Matt Parasini has a half-second advantage. Butchino has nearly a half-second advantage over Holden Wheeler, as Wheeler seems to be waking up at the end. They're all right there within a half-second of the next guy. Butchino gets it down to 0.46. Through the turn, it drops back to 0.56. Still got 0.5 of a second to catch Matt Parasini here. Short of a caution or a mistake from Parasini, it's becoming more and more difficult here tonight for it to happen. For Matt Parasini, this kind of plays out more as a more of a flex win here tonight if he can get it closed out. The fact that he's been winless through the first 3 races of the regular season, and he's still the points leader, goes to show you just how stout he's been. And it's been just a few steps here and a few steps there that has kept him from some big race wins already this season. And here tonight, it's a statement race. He wants to try and get his first win of season 12 here in 2026. He's only going to have 5 more laps to contend and hold off Devin Butchino here. It looks like Butchino dropping off the radar a little bit. Holden Wheeler closing in on the back bumper of the 68 now, actually. Then the rest of Cypress Academy, you got Vince Brett in 4th, Garrett Walden in 5th. You have Sentinel Motorsports, Sharon Hill in the number 6 position. Jesse Whittington for Cypress Academy in 7th. And then Christopher Bishop, Travis Bennett, and Colin Hoffman, 9th, 8th, 9th, and 10th. Bennett Racing, I want to say for Revved Up Racing, if I remember right. Well, here we go. Short of a caution, you're looking at the finish of tonight's race here with just 4 laps left to go. Matt Parasini, your points leader. He's going to come out tonight with a... Oh, he hits the wall. He made a brief mistake there with 3 laps to go. We'll see if that comes back to bite him. That wasn't no kiss. That was a pretty hard outside thump to the wall. Even so, he's building that gap on Devin Butchino. It's now up to 0.8 seconds. It's going to take some kind of a mechanical down on the 24 machine for him to lose that big of a gap. But after making that hard of a hit, there's no telling how wonky the car could feel right now. We're down to the final lap here tonight. 2 to go. This time by, they'll see the white flag. That will signify the official completion of the race, no matter what flag falls next. Yellow or checkers. He's going to collect the white flag. That means 1 lap to go here tonight from Kansas. 225 miles the distance. 1 more lap to go for Mr. Parasini. Vince Brent brings it up to 3rd here, getting by Holden Wheeler. Kind of a boost in the points for Matt Parasini, his teammate, bringing it onto the podium there, dropping Holden Wheeler back to 4th. But it's going to be none other than Matt Parasini leading the points after 3 races. Well, now he's going to be leading the points with 1 race win to his name. Season 12 looks a little bit sweeter for the 24 team as they bring it home to victory lane here tonight. Holden Wheeler falls back to 5th with a little bit of help from his friends, his teammates. Garrett Walden and Vince Brent both drop Holden Wheeler a couple spots there right at the finish, bringing Cypress Academy to finish 1st, 3rd, 4th, and even 7th with Jesse Whittington. Well, our resident Canadian gets to burn it down here tonight, celebrates race number 1 here in season 12 at Kansas. The ceremonial photo op with our podium finishers. Pretty neat to see Vince Brent on the podium here tonight. I think for myself, I'll be able to interview him. That'll be the first time I get to interview Vince Brent as a podium finisher here in the SCSRA Cup Series. I love on there that they've got on the finish line home of the .001 closest finish in NASCAR history. That's awesome. I want to say that was between Chris Buescher and Kyle Larson a couple years ago, right? I feel like that was the race. It was right down there on the bottom of the racetrack where Chris Buescher was, and Kyle Larson was just up the racetrack to win the race. Didn't have a photo finish quite like that here tonight, as Parasini was able to outduel Butchino by a full second nearly at the end of that one. Butchino rolling around after the checker drops there. And so there is your finishing order here tonight, folks. Obviously, top of the board, Matt Parasini bringing it home for race win number 1 this season. Followed by Devin Butchino, Vince Brent, Garrett Walden, and Holden Wheeler. Sentinel Motorsports bringing it home 5th and 6th. Cypress Academy, 4 drivers in the top 10. And then Christopher Bishop with SGRD, Colin Hoffman with KJR Racing, and then Full Throttle Motorsports. That's the team I was looking for. Full Throttle Motorsports, Travis Bennett with the top 10 finish here tonight. Lauren Vincent, 11th, should be good enough to keep him top 12 in the points still with some of the drop-off drivers that didn't show here tonight. Cale Thorpe, Joe Irwin, Ryan Gomes, Jeffrey Goodpaster, Matt Bands, Carlton Charles, Josh Hall. Followed by the tail end of your field, Shane Hines, Teddy Romanowski, and Hunter Hastings. So we will go ahead and commence the post-race interviews here. And we'll go ahead and start off with our third place driver here tonight, Vince Brent, who brings it home on a solid note here, third place here tonight. Well, it's Jacob in the booth. Do you copy, Vince?
Yes, sir. How's it going, Jacob?
Good. How are you?
Doing well, man. That was a fun race.
Well, yeah, heck yeah, on a podium finish here tonight. Kind of walk me through it. How did you get to the point where you were here tonight to secure a podium finish? It seemed kind of like a back and forth night for many involved. Was it a strategy game or kind of luck of the draw? What did you get out of that?
It was definitely back and forth for me. It was at the beginning of the race, it was going really well, and then just got in a position I wanted to be, and then just unfortunately a restart got checked up and got some nose damage, and it really just did some aero damage to me, and I fell back way further back than I wanted to. So the rest of the race was just getting that damage repaired and working my way back up, and that last the last 60 laps was really good. Just we had two longish runs where tires kind of really played a factor, and that was really nice to see. Just we had some comers and goers. It felt like, and I will where I started and kind of fell back to. I will gladly take a P3.
Yeah, so with Kansas here tonight, we haven't seen much of you yet this season. How's the rest of your schedule line up with the remaining races here for season 12?
Yeah, I'm just gonna show up when I can. Unfortunately, real life and work kind of get in the way sometimes, but really enjoy the league that SCSRA puts on and being here. So plan on being here next week and as many races as I can be. So
Sweet. No, that's awesome. You guys definitely showed up here tonight for Cypress Academy with 4 of them in the top 7, bringing home another solid podium for the team. Who else you have to thank here tonight? Friends, family, sponsors, want to shout out?
yeah, I know my wife's watching, so I just want to thank her and for all the support she gives. And I know my little girl, she's watching. She's freshly born, just 1 month. She'll be 1 month old in 2 days. So it's pretty cool getting to give her some shout outs here on the air. And appreciate what you do for the broadcast. And as always, the admins for the league. I know sometimes the results on the track don't show the work that goes into what they put in, but really appreciate all they do for the league and giving us the opportunity to race and with some good guys and have some fun.
Well, yeah, no, definitely. Congratulations on the podium tonight. You guys put on a great show. I enjoyed watching the race. See you next week at Pocono. Have a great night.
Yes, sir. You too.
That right there was Vince Brent with the podium finish here tonight. And so we will go ahead and pull in our second place driver here on the evening, Devin Butchino. Jacob in the booth. Do you copy, Devin?
Yeah, what's going on, brother?
Oh, just another wonderful day here on Earth. Great Wednesday, another day for fun racing action here in the SCSRA Cup Series. It was a great race. How did you come out on top with a second here tonight?
Yeah, Kansas is my best track. Doesn't matter. I think every car that I've ever driven here, we've been able to park it in victory lane. I don't know what it is about this track, but definitely had this one circled. And not racing anything on iRacing since August, and not being full time since season 9. Um, just knew there'd be a learning curve coming back, and we've been a fifth to 10th place car last couple of weeks, but definitely had this one circled. We qualified top 5, got second at the stage, led some laps, had decent long run speed, needed a little better long run speed. Just couldn't keep the right front on enough to be able to do anything there at the end. Um, but yeah, just very thankful to be able to execute. We left some points on the table last week at the end of the stage and the end of the race. So to come out here and get second in both, 0x, so we get the 3 bonus points, lead some laps. It's definitely it's kind of like riding a bike. It's slowly coming back. So just a really, really good points day, especially with this new format.
For sure, yeah, with the points format, the chase looming ahead. We're already, well, only about one race shy of halfway through the regular season, but the races come pretty quickly and they go pretty quickly. So, yeah, you don't want to leave too many points out there on the table. How do you feel about Pocono next race on the schedule?
I feel okay. It's definitely it's a rhythm track, which sounds crazy for how big it is, but um, you just got to get in your rhythm there. Race the racetrack. It's very difficult to pass. It's kind of just like a bigger Darlington in a way, where the second you start racing guys around you, it'll kill your exit speed in those long straights. If you have a bad run on exit, you're gonna lose a lot of time. So just need a lot of give and take. Be smart where you're passing, and yeah, just rhythm. Just hit your marks, and just have to execute out there next week.
Well, that's kind of funny that you mention it's more of a rhythm track. I've always kind of characterized Pocono more like a road course, it feels like sometimes. So, being a longer oval such as Pocono, you do get to see some weird strategies and fuel mileage games play out. So, yeah, it should be interesting to see what unfolds next week at Pocono. Uh, but we're closing in on halfway through the regular season. And what's your thoughts working your way into the chase this year? What do you think about the chase?
I'm excited for it. I think it was a long time coming, not only for us, but for the sport of NASCAR itself. You know what I mean? Um, and for the most part, we got pretty lucky in the playoffs where the most successful guy normally got it done. But this one's really just going to show true consistency. Even with the guys showing up, you know how leagues can go in the playoffs. People just tend to fizzle out if they're not competing anything for. So it's going to reward that consistency. I think we have a little work to do. I'm excited we executed today, but being my best track, this was the one we had to execute. But it's still working on taking that 5th to 10th place car that we were at Michigan and Rockingham, and getting that a little better, because it's just not going to be enough in playoff time. So just adding to our notebook, trying to get used to all these updates that have happened since we were full time, and yeah, I know we have the speed to get in, but to make some noise, we definitely have to just keep our heads down and keep working.
Yep, definitely those baby steps. So, any other family, friends, sponsors you want to thank here tonight?
Yeah, I want to shout out everyone watching, everyone that watched tonight. You, Jacob, for broadcasting this for us. Can't wait to go back and watch this one. Everyone at Intensity, for being our partner here on Wednesdays. We really appreciate it. All the admins for keeping the show going. All the drivers for keeping the show going. Thankful we got some green flag racing, so thank you to everyone tonight. Then I got to thank Dev Sports Cards, Level Up Subs, New Craft Fine Jewelry Design, and Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Josh's Handy Layers for any of your 3D printing needs. And yeah, just appreciate each and every one that makes this what it is, from the drivers to the viewers to the admins to any sponsor we've had. So really appreciate it.
For real. Yep. Have a great night, my dude. Enjoy this second place finish, and we'll see you next week at Pocono.
Yeah, appreciate it, brother. Have a good night.
Yeah, you too.
Thanks.
And so now we are going to go to the number 1 person on the night here the race winner, none other than your points leader, Matt Parasini. It's Jacob in the booth. Do you copy, Matt?
Yes, sir. I've got you.
Well, heck yeah. We get to interview you at Victory Lane once again here. We saw that quite a couple times last season, and now it only took you four races to get it done here this year. How are you feeling here tonight?
Really good. Kansas typically is probably almost my worst intermediate track, to be honest with you, in this car. So real happy that I put a race together finally at Kansas. I'm pretty happy about that.
Well, that's awesome to hear. So yeah, definitely rising to the occasion at a track that may not have been your favorite showing up here tonight. Kind of walk us through it. Was it a lot of kind of like adjusting to the flow of the race? We saw some opportunities where drivers decided to stay out. The fuel game definitely changed up depending on the caution. I thought that there might be an opportunity for a fuel mileage race here, and then we got that late caution that kind of set things up. What's your perspective on all that?
For me, that last run, I was going to be 6 laps short when we pitted for tires there. So I knew for sure we didn't have the fuel to make it to the end. So when that quick caution come out, I knew I had to come in, top it off. And I knew the biggest, most important thing is that I needed to come off a pit road first so I could maintain that track position and get that clean air on the nose. Clean air tonight was absolutely king. When I was behind other cars, it just absolutely burned the right front off. So being up front, I was able to manage it a lot better, and I'm pretty sure that's one of the reasons we ended up getting the win. I mean, we got a little bit off pit cycle there on those green flag pit stops, and that's probably at the end of the day what really helped us to get this victory and get the Dynamite Creations Co. Chevy back in victory lane.
Yeah, it's awesome. There was some other storylines that unfolded here tonight. Definitely Holden Wheeler taking a stage win. I've been following the points situation pretty tightly. It looks like you're basically leading on stage points alone. That's the merit that's given you a 10-point advantage over Holden Wheeler. So it's pretty crazy to see Holden Wheeler step up to the plate and deliver a home run here tonight while winning a stage. But you definitely kind of put another notch in the belt by taking the race win here tonight. It's exciting to watch that battle. Are you guys even like paying attention to that, or what do you think of that?
Yeah, you know what? This time of year, it's too early. My big thing right now is because it's a chase style format for the playoffs this year. My goal has always been, we just need to get stage points and we need to get top fives. That's what my goal has been this whole regular season. We've exceeded that. I mean, getting a win this early in the season for me is unusual. I will say that it usually takes me a few races to get going. So really happy we got that done. And it's going to be a good battle, but winning the race and everything like that, that's going to more than likely put a little bit more padding between me and Holden and just give us a little bit more of a cushion.
For sure. Any other friends, family, and sponsors you want to thank here tonight?
Well, I definitely have to thank my wife, Leanna, my daughter, Johanna, for letting Dad come out and race. And, my wife, Leanne, for sponsoring the race car this year. Dynamite Creations Co. She's just kind of getting things started and getting rolling here right away. I have to thank Mike Wheel at Mosh Customs for the amazing paint. I absolutely love how this car looks, and I'm so happy I was able to get it in victory lane. Just thank all my teammates over at Cypress Academy. Great bunch of guys, picking up right where we left off last year. Thank you to the admins of the league, the SCSRA, and then, of course, you for the broadcast. Much appreciated.
Heck yeah, my man. It was a good race. It was exciting to watch, and I'm excited for Pocono next week. So have a great night. Enjoy the win, and we'll see you in the next race.
Sounds good. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm. Alrighty, folks, that is a wrap here tonight, here from Kansas. 225 miles the distance, 150 laps of racing, and Cypress Academy's own Matt Parasini, with the points lead rolling into tonight, stretches that points lead out just a little bit further. We did see some advancements from Holden Wheeler to try and fight for the points lead. Just come up short at the end of this one as he got passed for 4th and 5th to drop out a couple more points there. So, yeah, it is pretty early in the season to be talking points, but, you know, it's a topic. It's a battle, something that'll be valid all the way up to the chase. So, win the war or win the battles, which is it? You got to win the battles to win the war sometimes. And for today, that was another battle for Parasini to secure, as each race will be one more battle towards the war of the championship. Thanks again, everyone, for tuning in. I greatly appreciate the opportunities and everyone involved with the series, tuning in and watching the events. Could not ask for a more exciting opportunity myself. So, have a great night, everyone. Stay safe out there. We'll be back at it next Wednesday from Pocono, and we'll see who can come out on top here in the SCSRA Cup Series next week at Pocono, this time around Wednesday. So,